Hey,
I'm Samurai
Duncecap,
Banana,
and you're listening to
Cabbages.
Hey Jeff, I'm sad, man. I'm just so sad.
Well, they blew up the chicken man in Dallas last night.
Like this might be the saddest movie I've ever seen. It might be the saddest.
And they blew up his 5 kids, too.
I mean that just don't I don't know how to take this. I don't know how we're gonna talk
Down
about
at the
this.
sportatorium, they're getting ready for a fight.
And for what? Like what was the point of all that loss? Like they do all that and then they don't
You see what them wrestling boys can do.
Should we just get to the guests? Should we just move on to our guests for this
Well, there's
episode?
Ric Flair busting in from out of state.
Yeah, and the
Fritz
worst Ric
can't get
Flair.
no relief.
We're talking about the Iron Claw today. The Iron Claw, the tragic story of the Von Erichs. We've got Duncecap and Samurai Banana. I don't know why, of all the guests we could have on to talk about the saddest movie of all time, we picked two of our funniest friends. I don't know. What we're gonna do it. This is episode 98. We're gonna talk about the Iron Claw. I'm so excited to introduce our guests for today's show. Joining us now are Duncecap and Samurai Banana. With origins in the We Are the Karma Kids hip hop collective, this New York-based rapper-producer duo dropped their first album together a decade ago, 2016's Human Error. In the ensuing years, they released separate solo projects for labels like Backwoods Studios and Uncommon Records. Well, now they're back together with a brand new album called Comfortably Suffering, released in partnership with Fused Hour Records. It's got features by K the I, Old Grape God, and friend of the pod, Fatboy Sharif. And you can cop it right now on Bandcamp, wherever music is streamed or sold. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
We wanted to bring on the funniest people we know to talk about the hilarious comedy, The Iron Claw.
I went in blind, and I didn't know.
Yo, same. I didn't know. I don't know anything about wrestling or this family or anything.
All I know is it's real. You know.
I knew that after.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
I too, as I've said many times in this season, this is our wrestling season. I haven't really watched wrestling since the Superstars era, 1980s, 1990s. Like as a kid, I haven't watched anything in that. So Jeff is our expert. He's the guy who talks about kind of like what these things mean, and I knew nothing other than that this was an A24 movie, and as you can see from my Marty Supreme branded Mets hat, I'm an A24 guy.
Pause. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to have.
That is a thing that I own. Yes, they made it for every New York sports team. By the way, you could get like a Liberty one. You can get a Rangers one. I'm just saying. Jeff, what do you? What's your name for Marty Supreme? What's your name for that movie?
Oh God, what did I say it was?
You forget your own jokes.
I forgot my own joke on this one.
Were you Carlos Mencia?
Hey, yo, Farty
That's,
Supreme.
you know what?
Right?
Before we even came on, there were a lot of Carlos Mencia jokes. Carlos Mencia catching strays in the 98th episode of this podcast. Catching strays.
I believe you were referring to Marty Supreme as Ping Pong Fuck Your Life.
Ping pong, fuck your life.
That's sick.
So Jeff and I
didn't publish it on the
odds.
internet because I didn't want everyone to steal it. But now it's going to get stolen.
And then for the record, since we're going to put things of yours out there, what was your name for the Iron Claw, Jeff?
No, what was it? I got to stop smoking weed. I'm losing all my best jokes.
Oh my God. Jeff said this, and interestingly enough, my wife, not having
virgin
heard
suicides for boys.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like almost entirely that. I found that joke on the internet at some point.
So you are Carlos
I did rip
Mencia.
that.
He is Carlos Mencia.
I ripped that one. But that's what it is.
I
When I sat, so just a quick background here.
Oh,
You
sure.
guys are not the first group of people that I tricked into seeing the saddest movie of all time.
Wow.
I actually tricked my family at Christmas time when it came out.
Like you saw it and was like, "Let's go see it." I've never.
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it,
So
but you already saw
I
it.
billed it as like, oh, the new A24 movie, and it's about wrestling. And my family was like, cool, that sounds fun. And so my nephew and my mom went to see whatever the popular kids movie was at the time.
It was called
Whatever was in
Migration. Migration.
Yeah, they went and saw Migration. And then I
Okay.
dragged the rest of my family to
I need-
go see this.
I need to ask a quick question.
Please.
Do you guys think this movie is good?
I think we save that for
ready
the end.
for this.
Ooh.
I'm
I think we save
ready
it for the end.
this.
You
know-
save
no,
that for the end?
I think we
I
start
can't
there.
save it for
We
the
usually
end.
save it for the end.
Maybe
I
we start
can't-
there and see if maybe our minds are changed. At the
Okay,
end.
let's do it.
So
Oh my god.
I guess
Oh, no.
Tim, why don't you go first?
I know.
Yeah, you
I've
seem
been waiting for
really
this.
upset about this.
Oh my god. Yeah, I hate things that I hate. I hate wrestling. I hate
Glad we have you on
boxing,
this season.
fighting, wrestling movies.
Mhm.
I hate biopics. This is all of them mashed together.
Mhm.
I also don't think that any of these actors are good. And
Wow.
yeah,
Even more
so
tyranny.
so honestly, like I went into this completely blind. I didn't know anything about the family. I didn't know anything about like anything.
How many deaths in did you yell at the screen? When did you actually yell at? I know you did.
Oh, I yelled way earlier. I was like, I yelled when fucking Don't Fear the Reaper started playing.
Oh,
I was
that
like,
was not
oh my
cool.
fucking god!
What a choice to
Oh.
play Don't Fear the Reaper and
Oh
then
my
kill
God.
everybody.
Oh yeah, that was shocking.
Pretty fucking
I was
sick.
shocked. I was so
the bit
surprised.
That happened early.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Like,
Well,
oh
I'm
my-
not
I-
shocked. When the first death happened, I wasn't like, "Oh my god, 45 minutes ago they played Don't Fear the Reaper." You know?
Yeah, I honestly was surprised it took so long. Honestly, like that scene is like the party, like they go to the party and like the bear is doing, I don't know the guy's name. I just
Don't worry
know
about
that
it.
the guy is from the bear, so I'm just going to refer to him as the bear. Just so you know.
Jeremy
I'm gonna call him.
Allen.
I'm calling him Springsteen the whole time, so it's all good.
That's fair. That works for me. All right. So like the bear is doing like keg stands and they're like, wow, he can really put him back. And he's got a motorcycle. I'm like, well, I know what's happening
gonna
later
die,
in this
yeah.
movie. Like,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's not what kills him.
It's not.
It's
but
not.
then
You're wrong,
okay,
Tim.
like
Tim, you
am
just don't
I
know what
getting
you're
too
talking
ahead of myself right now?
No, please.
No,
This is we want your
Okay.
assessment.
Hey, spoiler alert! Everyone dies. Now, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So then he's like, I was actually the most surprising part of the movie is that he didn't die immediately to me. But like then he's like coping with it and he's not coping with it well. And then he buys his dad a gun.
No.
I'm sorry. My bad. That's
Don't
my
do it.
bad. I just
No.
started thinking about the movie. That's on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
So he buys his dad a gun and immediately I'm just like, oh my God, he got his dad Chekhov's gun.
I thought about Chekhov's gun too.
And so then he's like insisting, like, shoot it, dad, you gotta shoot it. No, I'm not gonna shoot it. And then 2 scenes later, he's shot himself in the face.
He
Like,
shot himself
that's
in
the
the heart.
fastest.
In the heart.
Whatever,
They
I
were
don't
too late,
care.
and they were too late.
I don't
It's
care.
They're the same
He
thing.
shot
It's
himself.
fine.
He shot himself to death.
Did we even
Suicide
watch the
by
same
gun.
movie, Tim?
Oh man,
Obviously
I don't know
not
if we
paying
did.
attention.
But my thought then was, wow, that's the fastest I've ever seen Chekhov's gun get shot.
Yeah.
It was a quick turnaround on Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the most surprising thing about this movie is like the younger scrawny brother took. I thought that he was going to go first. to be
Michael
totally honest.
or the tall guy?
The
Michael.
like one who just wants to play guitar.
I can't point to Gary's screen,
Michael.
but the guy who's in the headlock behind Gary.
Yeah. Who has his like brain become different?
Correct. Correct. We weren't really allowed to talk about what exactly happened, but his brain became different.
I just have to just point out, just as we're doing, like, we are talking about real people. Like, this did
I know.
happen to people. Like,
This
No, I know.
is true.
but there's
Wait,
also
so
like,
I just
but
wanna,
there's
like,
so
Well,
Yeah,
getting
sorry.
back to the original question, which is,
I want to
is
get
it a
back to
good
the
movie
question.
or not?
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling that Tim, you don't want to live that way forever.
it's not really my favorite way to live, I don't think. I
Watching
mean,
this
okay,
movie.
so this is the problem I knew I was going to have going in is like I'm just going to sound like a heartless piece of shit, which I am.
Great.
I absolutely am.
That's why we brought you aboard.
That's why anybody does anything with me. But like the thing is, this is why I hate biopics, is because tragic things happen to these people, and it sort of like makes it almost like impossible to like criticize the movie in an objective way, which is part of why I went into it blind. Which is like I just wanted to like watch this as a movie and like judge it as that.
Yeah, and I think that's a distinction that's worth making here. Is like we're not, to be clear, this isn't about like. First of all, humor comes out because we're talking about something that is so tragic and horrible. The actual story is hard to think about, and the more research I did after the fact about,
Don't research it. Listen,
it's just like
let me
it's
just. There's
it's
a
just
second
tears.
spoiler
It's tears.
alert. There's a second spoiler alert to all of this, which is this movie is so fucking sad, right? The real life story is it was too sad for the movie. There's a sixth son that dies.
There's a
of
sixth
suicide.
son?
There's another person not in here and not the little kid that died,
Oh my
like,
god.
like that they
H4.
reference and then bring out
Oh my
later.
God.
How about
There's
that?
another son that dies of a suicide because he was short and they didn't think he would like sell the wrestling business as like a tiny dude.
Yeah.
And all of his brothers were getting successful and he was so sad he killed himself because he
Jesus.
couldn't like please his family in the ring.
So on that note, Mike,
How
do
do
you
you
think
do
this
it?
is a good movie or a bad movie?
Suicide shot himself in the head.
Oh, guys, we need gun control in America. Am I right? But
No.
Sorry.
actually,
There's-
it was
Stop
edited.
thinking about it.
There's a male loneliness epidemic right now in this country.
This movie was at the peak of the male loneliness epidemic too.
It did drop
Okay.
at the right time.
It dropped at the exact moment of our collective sadness.
I'll say this. I think it's a fine movie.
Mhm.
It's a fine movie. I am so happy to be here because I know Tim. I texted my girlfriend, man, Tim's gonna hate this fucking movie, and I'm gonna go hard for it. Even if I don't like, would I watch it again? Yeah. Am I going to? Maybe. But like,
Maybe.
Why?
I don't really have a reason to, but if someone's like, you trying to watch Iron Claw? I'll be like, all right.
Just to prove a point.
You know, I'm not
Just because fuck you, Tim.
no, I have kind of the opposite opinion as Tim in a lot of regards. I think like our values are the same maybe or have a lot of overlap, but then when it comes to just like how things hit, like I personally like biopics. I had a biopic phase. And I find them very educational cuz I mean they are, you know, like obviously movies and Hollywood and like, you know, just producers in general will like rewrite shit and make it not as realistic, so you can't, it's not a biography. You should look shit up like you were saying. There's a sixth brother. This movie's a lie. But like at the end of the day, I could tell you the dynamics of a family that had an impact on an industry that my wrestling nerd friends know a lot about because of this movie. And I'm not going to be like, oh man, Zac Efron looks weird as fuck in this movie.
But he looks weird as
He
fuck.
does
Well,
look weird as fuck in this movie.
I mean, you know what? I am going to say that.
Yeah, you should say it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily take away from the fact that I'm not mad at it. I'm not watching like, oh man, I'm down for the ride. You know, like, did I think
Sure.
everyone was gonna die ritually? No.
No, because like, who makes that movie? Why?
Yeah. An hour in, I was like, so we're done, right?
The difference between this and like, I watched Virgin Suicides a long time ago, very drunk, but I do remember. I was
Also-
so wasted when I
Come
watched
on,
it.
dude.
I was wasted. I spent a lot of time drunk in that era. And I watched Virgin Suicides with some people real drunk. And what I remember is that everyone dies at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So like there's a ritual thing that they do and they all die at the same time. This thing drags you through every bit of mud it can. It's like, hey, at one point, the movie is about a family that wrestles, right? And then an hour in, it's like, okay, we've spent some time in front of a bloody toilet. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off. And then they just one by one pick everybody off.
Yeah.
Individually. It is so much sadder and worse than most movies where a lot of people die. They die in like battle, or they die in like a failed drug deal, or they have cancer or something. Like, nope. Almost all of these people did it to themselves.
Yeah, no one really had cancer.
No.
Except for
the original kid, the little kid that dies, and they like bring him back in the. We're going to talk about the.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
But when the little kid died because he like fell off of a trailer tongue, and
that's
like
not right, is it? That's not what really happened.
Oh no, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
And then he drowned in a puddle.
Yeah, it was a real horrible situation.
So they didn't even show that. They were like, "Well, we can't show that."
Well, that was the thing.
Just kill this
it's also
kid.
why
we have a lot of adults to kill.
It's also why they don't show the sixth brother in the film. Is the filmmaker who wrote and directed this basically said like, I wrote this script over like a 7-year period, and in the first 5 years of writing and researching this, his story, the sixth brother Chris, his story was in this, and then I had to take it out because he doesn't want this movie to be about their loss as much as he wants this to be about
too fucking bad, pal.
About about Zac Efron's character's kind of endurance through it all. He wants it to be about his endurance. I don't think now we get into the filmmaking of it. I don't know if he's achieved that. And I think because you have so many mounting tragedies, even if you take one out, it's just like
in effect they took two out. Well, like they couldn't show the kid. They just kind of mention it, and then he tells the story a little bit.
Yes.
They don't say why. They just say he got into a car accident.
Yeah.
He did not.
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
No.
Also, why did you let that baby drive a car?
Jeff, since I think we're still on the first question though. Jeff, is this a good movie or a bad movie?
I truly like this film. Honestly, I'm not going to go out and say that I'm like the biggest wrestling nerd on earth or anything. But I'm the biggest one in this room. Certainly in this room.
Yeah.
And I know a lot, and I knew this story going in. And I went in and was like, how do you tell this fucking story? It's horrifying. No one is going to want to see this. Why would you do this? There are so many excellent stories to tell in wrestling that would be entertaining and weird, and people die all the time. But you were like, I want the one with all the death. I want all the death. So when I came into this thing, I was expecting it to sort of like fall on its face. And I don't think it did. I think it gave us a good 50 some odd minutes of like character development, brotherhood. We got a really bad folk rock band in there. We had motivations.
You know who's in the folk rock band, right?
Who?
It's and the score of the film, and not Springsteen. The score of this movie is from, and that song is co-written by a guy from the Arcade Fire.
Oh,
wait, which one? The rapey one or the?
Oh, I don't think it's that guy.
The other Butler.
I have it here. It's
not Win Butler, but Lost Butler.
It's Richard Reed Parry.
Oh, that guy. Sure.
Yeah. So not the Butler guy.
No, not the Butlers. Okay.
No. So like, yeah, you get that. I mean, that's once I looked that up, like, oh yeah, sure, that makes sense. I mean,
it also, I mean, like, as someone who has not liked that band in my whole life,
same.
It makes sense that I hate that song.
Yeah.
But where the wild things are.
Fair. It's a fair argument. Sorry. He shut the book on my whole argument. Incredible.
He did.
So yeah, I don't think it's incredible by any means. It's not like a 5-star film or anything, but for taking this subject matter and making it into a film that I enjoyed, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to do. This story is so, I mean, it's not very often that a story is so sad that you have to make it brighter by eliminating a son's death. That's crazy.
He already got eliminated once. They had to do it a second time.
This guy died twice for this film. Listen, I want to go through and rate the deaths. How do we feel about that?
I don't feel
great.
good
Is
about that.
no,
I feel
not
so
good?
bad
Gary
about this.
doesn't like it.
I
Mike,
feel
you in?
so bad about this.
Gary, go
I
grab yourself a coffee or something. We're
I mean,
gonna rank the deaths.
I feel like I want to answer the question about
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
this is a
Sorry,
bad
go ahead.
movie.
Yeah.
I'd
And
like
then
to
we're
answer
gonna
that
rank the
question.
deaths.
And then I'd really would like to find something else to talk about.
You can't.
What
It's
is there
all
to talk
death.
about except
What the fuck are you
deaths?
gonna talk about?
The whole
I-
movie is deaths. That's
whole
it.
movie
It's
is
death.
deaths.
The movie.
It is death.
Sad wrestlers die. The movie.
What about like
it's-
how mean the dad was? There's that.
Yeah, we can talk about how the dad is mean.
How he caused the
Oh.
deaths.
Yeah.
Yo, with the dad, all I could think of the whole time was like the dad from Dewey Cox going, "Wrong kid, dad. Wrong kid, dad." That was like the
Absolutely.
whole vibe throughout the
That's
fucking
the worst.
Wow.
That's the worst
Oh,
case of
wow.
cut in half I've ever seen.
movie. Exactly. Also, what was that scene where the dad is like, "I don't want to push you into wrestling. You know, I wouldn't wish that on any of my kids. I don't want you to wrestle, but I
But
think that
also,
you should
all of
wrestle."
you have to wrestle.
What the fuck? He spent the whole movie up to that point getting his kids to wrestle. That's all. That was his main goal. That was his motivation.
Yeah.
Was I want my kids to wrestle. All right,
I
sorry,
had-
Gary. Is this a good movie?
My problem with this film, and why I don't think it's a good movie, is it suffers from a structural problem that is similar to the other A24 wrestling movie, The Smashing Machine. And that is, this is a really good topic for a documentary.
Although that's UFC.
Yeah.
Just because other people are going to point it out. I
Fine,
will go
yeah,
ahead
fine.
and-
MMA.
But
fine.
go ahead.
The
Yes,
same
yes.
sort of, like, so it's a similar
boxing
type
guy.
of thing.
It's fair. I'm
But-
with you. It stars
Yeah.
a wrestler. I don't think
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
Go ahead.
So, the Smashing Machine and the Iron Claw are both ostensibly tragedies that were better told as documentaries. Safdie's watching this the documentary, get inspired. He goes off, splits off from his brother, and makes this movie based on the documentary of the same name. Iron Claw, clearly the inspiration comes from the Vice series, Dark Side of the Ring. You know, there's stuff that's coming from other places that told this story already in a format that makes sense for it. Now you have to do this dramatization of this story, and you're compelled to do this for what reason as a filmmaker? Why is having actors you recognize playing these characters? Like, I saw Maura Tierney as the mom, and I'm like, I was a big News Radio fan. Like, I watched News Radio when it was out, and I watch it in syndication, and I fucking
great.
love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. And I'm just like seeing her on here, and I think she's the best performance in the entire film.
Agreed.
And it's just like, why did we need to see this? Like, why did we need to see this movie? Like, why did this have to get made when the story is known? To see a dramatization just to have these.
I don't think
these
it's
actors
very
do
known,
it.
though. I will
I
say
think it's
that
pretty
like,
known in the wrestling circles.
It's
I mean,
known in wrestling circles.
yeah,
which is a small
huge.
circle, but like
it's not that small.
even
I
in
mean,
wrestling circles,
like in
now
WWE
it's super known.
Well, like WWE
Because
took that whole family.
You have to
in
remember that
2009.
like that show didn't come out until way later.
Yeah.
So like you really had to, in a way, be a super nerd to know about the Von Erich family.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knew Carrie because Carrie is like a background character in the Superstars era.
Yeah, Texas Tornado.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like in some big matches. He wins the IC belt. You know, he's got a name. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
But nobody knew about the other dudes unless, you were watching television in the Territory era.
Which is the 80s,
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this
I
film
mean, like-
starts in what, 79, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this shit, like in the movie, they're talking about the first major TV deal for wrestling in the history
Yeah.
of the sport. Like that's kind of what they're hinting at, is that like this shit is local. It's a local scene that's catching national fame. So like,
I mean,
it
when
really wasn't all that well known.
yeah, I guess what I'm trying to pipe in and say is that like I had a wrestling phase, and I mean I'm 36 now. I wasn't alive in the 80s, 79, and like I was not a nerd, but I was interested in like what's going on and like the history of it. But I was more interested in like maybe the 90s and like maybe the late 80s, but like I didn't know who the hell the Von Erichs were. So
Right.
I guess to say that like for someone who didn't see the documentaries, or like I think I've saw like Dark Side of the Ring. Like I saw that advertised just like in my life of being like into film, but I never really cared enough to watch it.
It's an excellent show.
But the Iron Claw, I've heard of it, and like I guess to answer your question, why make it this movie? I think it's like biopics or biopics. First of all, how do we say that word?
I say biopic because, like, why are we changing the way the words sound?
Someone said it the other
To
day, and I
sound
was
smart?
like, "Am I an idiot?"
I
always
hate
called it
biopic.
It's
Okay,
it's
well,
always
anyway.
been biopic.
Okay, thank you guys. Anyway, like the biopic, I think has maybe it's stunt casting with recognizable faces, but I think why make it this way? Because people are stupid and like don't want to watch documentaries. Stupid's not the right word. People don't necessarily want to watch documentaries. They want to be entertained in a way that's different from that. I mean, I personally find documentaries to be interesting, but I think it just reaches a wider audience to have it like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the same boat as Tim in the sense that, like, I actually, the more I think about it after you were talking about it, I don't like biopics. I'm not a fan of biopics.
Yeah.
I realize, like the fucking, why does The Bear need to be Bruce Springsteen making Nebraska? Why is that a thing that needs to exist in the world?
All right,
yeah,
honestly,
let's take it easy for just a second. Like, that movie was cool, and that's my favorite record of all time.
Yeah, fine.
But
Like,
I just
read
need
the
to be
book.
on the
Read the
record
book.
there.
There's
'Cause
a
I
whole
normally
book it's
don't.
based on.
I truly don't. I own it. I truly
Yeah, there
don't
you go.
Gary, your
care for
point,
biopics very often either.
your point about like this works as a documentary is exactly why I don't like biopics, is because I would rather watch a documentary about something that's true rather than have it enacted dramatically, because it always takes away from the real life like trauma. Like they cut a whole ass brother out.
No.
I don't like
I
this
didn't even know I
joke.
was doing that. I'm so sorry. Just wash it down with something.
Sorry, it's Tim. You were saying.
I think I made the point that I want. It's like I would rather watch a documentary. Like it's like stories are more like real stories are more interesting when they're real. Like I don't know. It's movies are always just kind of like it just always feels cheesy because they have to like change it to like make it a thing that entertains people. And like I don't know. I don't need it to be that. I don't need to be entertained.
And they made a lot of changes. Like they made a lot of changes to this. Like if you go to the IMDb page, you want to talk about like wrestling fans,
Tupac.
the trivia and the goof section specifically on IMDb is the longest I've ever seen on an IMDb page. And it all people talking about chronology being wrong, that Fritz von Erich, the father, would never wear a cowboy hat. Like there's shit like it's like minutia. It's like, well, technically he didn't lose his leg
first and
before he
foremost,
won the title. He lost his leg before after that. In this
you can't
year.
tell a wrestling story and not have the nerds come out and lambast you.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, I'm honestly shocked that even as small a world as we've built with our pod here, I'm shocked that no one has come on our page and been like, well, to be fair, Hulk in 84, like, you know what I'm saying? Like this, it's one of, we have intersected the two biggest bugaboos in history, which is like rap fans and wrestling fans. They are the most overcorrective, the most like, they just like, if you get a single tiny detail wrong, they will massacre you. And you're like, it's a fake sport being run through the ringer of a fake movie as well. Like movies are fake too. So like going
Movies
on to
are real,
IMDb
Jeff.
and being
Movies
like,
are real.
actually, the first child died of, and I'm like, who gives a flying fuck? Like, it's a movie. The reason that the other stuff exists is to set the record straight about this whole thing. The surviving Von Erich
Kevin
went to the premiere of the film.
in Texas.
He like, well, I just assumed he was like, yeah, man, make it, but leave me out of it, and I don't want to
Zac
be a
Efron.
part of it. That motherfucker went to the premiere,
Yeah.
and then afterwards was like, yeah, you know, my dad wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
That was really his only critique.
That's
It's like
really,
they got some things wrong, but like whatever, it's a film. I just, you know, my dad wasn't so bad.
I mean, that's a crazy. I mean, we're talking about like how crazy it is to get these things wrong. We remove the kid, and the guy who's the guy that all this shit happened to is like, yeah, all right, like that is fine, you know. Like
Honestly,
I think
like
that's
I'm
kind
shocked
of
he was
you
like, I'm
know?
shocked they
That's
made it. This is crazy. They did an excellent, like I thought everybody did an excellent job as me and my brothers. It's a very sad story. My dad was a little wild, but wasn't, you know, he wasn't this bad. And then if you look that statement up by the person who lived through it, it's nothing but wrestling dorks on Reddit being like, no, he was awful. He's a piece of shit. Like, look
Let me
that
tell
shit
you
up.
about your experience.
Take a they take a steaming dump on this guy's character. They're just like, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He deserves to die. Like, it was awful.
wow.
Like, they really crushed him. I One of the things I think they kind of get right in this. So I grew up in a household with a very stern coach dad. You know what I mean? Like, he was very serious about me playing sports, playing the correct way, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Boy, that's just like kind of how coach dads are sometimes. Like at the, you know, they're so myopic. They only see what is going to make you successful in the thing you're doing rather than what is going to make you happy.
Mm.
It's just a thing. Like if you ask people that have coach dads especially in the like 60s through 90s,
yeah.
you're going to hear a lot of those stories.
Quick follow-up question. Was your particular coach dad, was he at all inspired by the Nazis?
I don't know. As much as anybody, I suppose. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like the surviving Von Erich, Kev. I really don't want to go on and just be like, you know, my dad was all right. He was all right. He was an all right guy. I don't know if I want to call him a Nazi, but he was a little inspired.
But do you know why I asked that question?
Yeah, I do.
So I think we learn in the movie at the when they're dealing with the birth certificate for Kevin's firstborn child that Von Erich is not their actual last name. That is purely character from their father's wrestling days. And his character, Fritz Von Erich,
Yeah.
was basically was a heel, was a bad guy, was a villain whose in-ring persona was inspired by the Nazis. And apparently, because this is where it gets into, we talk about the curse, and this film is supposed to be talk about the curse. And Kevin, the surviving brother, doesn't believe the curse is real. He's said that in interviews as well. He doesn't believe the curse is real. He thinks it's a tragedy, but like it's about perseverance. But
I do. Those motherfuckers were cursed. Go ahead.
The wrestling legend behind it, or in terms of this idea of the curse, is that apparently Von Erich was approached after a match back when Fritz Von Erich, the father, was approached to the match back in those days, and by a Holocaust survivor who came up to him and basically said something to the effect of, "I hope nothing like what happened to me and my family ever happens to yours." Now, this is, I'm just reading this shit on the internet. Could be obviously conflated. This could be mixed up, but like that is part of this kind of idea of the curse. It begins with that.
In true good character work mode, he probably was just like, go to hell.
Probably.
That's like what you had back then, especially. We haven't done a whole lot of stuff that bases itself in the old days, like the pre-WWF days, the territory days. But back then, kayfabe was everything.
Sure.
So, like, if you went out to bars and stuff, you couldn't be with the other wrestlers a lot. That's why there are so many stories about wrestlers hanging out in hotel rooms together and getting wasted, and like bringing people into the hotel rooms to have fun. Because if they go to bars together, unless they're like on a tag team together or on the same team, or they're not like feuding, if you're out with somebody who you're feuding with, that kills the story. People really believed it was real. and they had to keep the reality up front. There's also my favorite stories from back then. Like if you got beat up in like a bar, you got cut. You're off the red. Like you can't. You got to be a tough guy and beat shit out of people.
Whew.
If they come up and threaten you, you got to be your character. You got to beat this guy's ass, or you're out of here. If we get rumor that you got beat up in a bar brawl, there's no believability anymore. You're out. You're out of wrestling. It's crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he like told the Holocaust survivor to fuck off.
I mean, yeah.
He's that kind of dude.
This seems like a great opportunity to bring up one of the things that constantly played through my head watching this movie, which was the Tim Robinson sketch where he's a wrestler.
I knew it. I knew
made me crap my pants, burn the American flag. Goes without saying.
It's really
like, especially when they're doing the interviews, I was just like, I can't do this.
I mean, it's
I'm
great
coming for you.
It's great to like to now have, for you especially, you know, someone who does not care about wrestling at all, to kind of have the full context of what a promo is.
I mean, I knew what it was.
See that,
like,
you know, but see it on the regional level, like that's shit. Like that Tim Robinson sketch is meant to be from a shitty regional wrestling league. Like it's
no, I knew what it was, but like, yeah, it was like I couldn't help but think that.
No, absolutely
fair.
Yeah,
I should have worn my other A24 hat, which is my friendship hat.
By the way, his other A24 hat, by the way.
Other A24 hat.
Just want to point that out real quick, and we can move on.
Hey,
That's
Jeff,
not
let me
a
ask you a
Mets
quick
hat.
question. Let me ask you a quick question, Jeff. Yeah,
You should ask the guest questions.
No, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. What did I get you for Christmas this year?
You got me a membership to A24, which when they put out a good movie, I will take advantage of.
so you
Wait.
never will.
Okay.
It's
Hey, yo, that's my guy, Tim. Samurai Banana.
It's been
I hate everything.
It's been a rough year.
But wait. But you liked, but
No, I
okay,
like
but
Friendship.
Seb, you liked
It's-
Friendship, right?
I did.
Okay.
Friendship was awesome.
that
love
was
it.
hyperbole.
Yes.
I had to make a joke.
So are you really not, and you do it so well, are you not an A24 fan though? Is that not the kind of thing? You like those kind of
Like-
movies? You're not what you watch?
I think that they make some good movies, but they make a lot of schlock that tries too hard. Like that's sort of like, you know, I don't know.
I think it
This
gets.
is
I think they
art,
get a
but
lot of
like,
credit for trying hard because we're in a not very try hard era for movies.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like I appreciate them for what they're doing very, very much.
Also, aren't
just in
they
case they ever decide to sponsor the show.
Oh, please.
distributor. Are they not? They're not a production
Yeah.
house, so it's like
Yeah, I mean, mostly they're just like people are making
Yeah, but
movies.
they're picking them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yeah.
They have this sort of like their reputation is like as curators, I guess, which is
Yeah.
again, I think as Tim points out, like at some point it's like, okay, like you're making
They're also launching a music label, so watch what you say.
elevated horror.
I mean, I love
you know?
A24 and all the
Right?
music they like.
Yeah.
Right?
I like
Like,
it too.
Yeah.
They're going to be paying for art. We got to make sure, like, listen, I don't know that they've put out a bad movie, Tim.
Respectfully disagree with you, Tim. With Tim, I'm afraid on this. On this
No,
subject.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're not as terrible as I made them out to be. But
No,
like,
no,
I just
no.
feel like they're overrated. That's
They're putting out
I
the,
think they're
the
overrated.
Backrooms movie, right? They're putting out the.
Oh, I was
Backrooms
just going to
movie.
bring that up, and I didn't know if
Wait,
it was going to be
the
too off
which movie?
topic.
No, go.
Backrooms.
Backrooms.
Are you familiar with the whole lore of Backrooms?
No.
All right. Well,
Oh,
this
wait,
is a whole
wait.
other conversation then.
Wait, was Dove telling us about this?
Dove loves Backrooms, but
yeah. That's
there's
like the
it's
weird
like the
liminal space.
Yeah, Jinx, you owe me a liminal space.
What
Yeah,
flavor is that?
basically-
You get that at the Coke Freestyle machine?
Yeah. Yeah, you press a button, you just end up in this room between spaces of reality.
It's in
You get
between
coated with vanilla
flavors.
Coke.
Yeah, basically like there was that famous image that's like of like a desolate department store kind of very like yellow alabaster rug walls ceiling.
Yeah.
And there was essentially a whole internet culture based around the lore of that image, which spawned video games and famously an internet video series and kind of a genre which we would call analog horror. And Kane Pixels is the video creator who created a series of Backrooms videos, which was foundational to this whole movement, if you want to call it that. and A24 just backed his Backrooms film project. So it's like a
Interesting.
big, I don't know, big budget's the word, but like, big budget version of this aesthetic. I'd say the closest we got to that before was probably Skinamarink, which I was not a fan of.
Yeah, I didn't see that. But like that, I think it's sort of A24 gets behind these things, and some of this stuff is they get behind it because horror films are cheap and can sell and play throughout the year. So whenever a theater needs it or a streamer needs it or a platform needs it, they can make it happen. And then they do stuff like Iron Claw, which is kind of meant to be awards bait. And Smashing Machine did the exact same thing. And no, no,
Sorry.
No.
I thought it was the right time. We were getting back into the movie. I started thinking about the movie and how I wanted to die. I'm sorry. That's on me. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So they're trying to do these types of films that are more serious, and it doesn't always work. Like this movie did not get nominated for any Golden Globes, didn't get nominated for any Oscars. Like it was not considered. And they released it at Christmas 2023. When Jeff says he made his family go see it at Christmas, they saw it at Christmas. It came
That
in at
was
number
real.
6 in the box office that's opening weekend.
I think it
So
was
had a
like
pretty
December
decent release.
19th or something.
Yeah, it came out like you could have seen it on Christmas. It was like that.
It's
And
possible.
but it's like they've tried it too many times. Like they did what The Beau is Afraid is another one of those things. Like they tried
Okay.
to do
That's a
that.
completely
I
different movie, though.
love Beau is Afraid.
Okay.
I
Of course
fucking
you do. Of
love
course
that
you do, dude.
That's a
Of
good
course you do.
movie.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying they clearly tried to put that thing out by saying, hey, the guy who gave us these 3 elevated horror movies, The Witch, Hereditary, and
Wait, The Witch is
Norwegian
somebody else.
Vacation.
Wrong guy.
What?
The Witch is Robert Eggers.
Oh, that's Robert Eggers. Okay,
Yeah.
so give us 2.
Yeah.
So sorry,
No,
he
I mean-
did what the Norseman after that?
Yeah, which was whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he did Lighthouse after that. That was
Which is
also-
great.
Lighthouse
And that's a
rules.
great one.
Lighthouse
That's
fucking
great.
rules.
That's great.
Yeah, I
So it's
definitely,
like-
I did
I
look
like
at
I
a list
hate
of
the
A24
Lighthouse.
Oh, get out of here, Jeff!
Yeah.
Get right out of town.
You know who you look
Seriously,
like?
want me
Willem
to take
Dafoe
these
in The
pills?
Lighthouse.
No.
Talk about the lighthouse for a
No,
while.
no.
Ugh.
But
Continue.
I think its reputation is hit or miss. This is A24, and that's the problem
Yeah.
is that they are hit or miss.
Yeah.
But so I think that's where we get into trouble with that.
I mean,
You
yeah,
can't
that's just like being a curator. You're going to hit and you're going to miss. That makes
But
sense.
what I'm saying is like I,
I just-
feel like over time
I just appreciate the fact that they're like picking things that are off the beaten path and like
I respect
Yeah,
him a lot.
I-
trying
agree.
to make some things that are interesting rather than
I just don't
easily like a Bruce Springsteen biopic, which like no, it doesn't matter if I loved it or not, was a boring topic.
yeah. And they
I
were
struggled to
advertising it in
write
the
this.
air.
I
they
struggled to
advertised it
get
in the
my
airport.
record out, and I was going through a crisis.
Mm.
Like that, that's your normal like biopic type of movie. These guys were like, you know what? This story is horrific and terrible, but it's not a normal story. That's for sure.
You know
I'll
what
walk
else is
back my
horrific?
A24.
You know what else is horrific and terrible? The hairstyles in this movie.
Yo,
Yo!
Let's talk about it.
I think this is a fair game topic. I think we can. I think of all the personal attacks we could make, the hairstyles of this film are clearly the worst thing ever. They take
my God.
fucking people who are, genuinely like real people. Are you trying to do something, Mike?
yeah, I'm trying to share my freaking screen, Gary.
I'm a little afraid of this, but here we go. I'm letting you do this. I'm
I
going
mean-
to allow it.
I
Very
promise-
unorthodox, but I'm going to allow it. Are you going to show you with the Harris Dickinson haircut at some point? Is that what
Look at
this
this.
is gonna
This is what I'm staring at right now.
be? Yeah.
So just like I'm literally been staring at this the entire time we've been talking.
Okay.
But like the reality of the haircuts is dude's hair didn't even look like that.
They weren't even that
Ass
bad.
Zac Efron ass hair. He has this weird shit going on, and that's not what that guy looked like.
No.
I mean, so I wrote down notes when I watched this movie, and one of my notes was literally like, were their haircuts really this bad in real life? And
I mean, this guy's
They're
hair is
not
not so
great.
bad.
these are not actually very
They're
good
not
haircuts.
great haircuts, but they're
They're not.
certainly not those haircuts.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like sloppy boy, summer 1981. But this is like, who gave, like, the hairdresser. This is a sin. This is a sin.
They did kind of.
Truly.
It's among the worst things to get through because already you're watching this and you're like, okay, I know what the bear looks like,
Yeah.
and I didn't know the guy who played Mike, but the guy who plays Harris Dickinson, essentially, he's had a few different roles, and after this, he did that Nicole Kidman movie, Baby Girl, where he had the inappropriate office relationship with her, and like he had a little bit of heat around him around this, and he's done some stuff, and I'm just like, how do you make somebody look so unappealing on screen? How do you make these people look completely unappealing? And then, of course, you get to Zac Efron, who has gone through quite the transformation these past few years.
Yoked.
Like the last time we talked about a Zac Efron movie,
One
on this
thing,
was
they're
what,
all
Baywatch?
cut.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Dude, they are
ripped.
They got ripped for this role.
Dude, like I heard,
And there's
that,
like
the
two or
bear
three
at-
scenes where dudes are just like fucking pumping iron. You're like, yeah, he really did though. He really know, like they really are pumping some fucking
Yeah,
iron.
I
in
heard
life.
that the guy the bear, Jeremy Allen White, did
Bruce
like he
Springsteen?
gained like 40 pounds of 40 pounds of muscle for this role, and even he's just like, but Zac Efron went crazy.
Zac
Like, even
Efron is noticeably an outlier,
Huge.
where everyone else
Huge.
looks like athletic, where he's like looks like a wrestler, like
Yeah.
actually looks like he belongs in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, I feel like he actually did the steroids that the wrestlers do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
Yeah,
which
it's
by the
possible.
way, the scene where they're doing the steroids,
in the
that, like,
montage,
the montage, the drug montage, which never really comes back. Like
No.
they never talk about steroids at all in this movie.
No.
I really liked the sort of incidental score that's very sad, just so you know how to feel about it. You
Yeah.
know?
they didn't like push it to the limit over that or anything like that. Limit. Little Scarface style business.
I
This
almost
movie
would have
does push you
preferred
to the
that.
limit. One
But
thing
Jeff-
I'll note about the drugs,
Yes.
they only did drugs known to wildly depress you. Nobody was smoking weed. Like I think this family finds weed, and everything turns out different.
Wasn't one of them doing cocaine?
That's the curse, is that they were just doing the wrong drugs.
And it's just the change of don't worry about a thing. Because
Exactly.
every little thing is gonna be all right.
That's right.
Like it's like
Instead,
that.
it's all that way. Fuck that shit. They play that movie so like as soon as that song comes on, it's like the rest of the movie is like
Which is
crowded
again,
up by that
but instead it's
song.
also fucking Oscar bait. That's clearly them trying to
Yeah.
get best original song into the goddamn fucking category. That's what they're trying
Well,
to
they
do.
should have written a best original song because they did
Yeah.
not. They wrote
Sorry,
Should have got
Arcade
Bruce
Fireman.
Springsteen to write one. You know what I'm saying?
right, exactly. You've got him in the movie.
You're just so
Yeah,
tickled.
he's getting madder
You're
and
so
madder.
tickled with that, aren't you? It's like that time you watched The Mask and you kept referring to yourself as Cuban Pete for like weeks afterwards.
That was
I
a
don't know who
good
that
gag.
is.
My
gag?
name is
that
Cuban
what that-
Pete, and I'm the king of the rumba beat. Don't be jealous.
This
Who's
is
jealous?
the-
It doesn't look good on you, Gary.
Jeff. I think this is the third Zac Efron movie we've watched on this podcast, and the second this
Shit,
season.
you're right.
The second this
my
season,
God.
and the third we've watched. Can you guys guess what we've watched? What Zac Efron films we've watched for this show?
High School Musical.
Nope.
I don't even know Zac Efron. It's like-
That wedding movie with Aubrey Plaza in it,
Okay. Oh, it was like
and
Mike and Tim D.
It wasn't
Gates or
that
whatever.
one.
that one, yeah. Somebody's dating somebody,
Yeah.
and that other lady. What, I forget her name. But...
I know the one we did this
Anna
season.
Kendrick, was it Anna Kendrick?
Yes,
in that?
yes. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
it was
Kristen
Anna
Bell,
Kendrick.
not the same
Yeah.
person.
Not same person.
I know we watched one. I know the one we watched this season
Yes, you do.
because it stars a wrestler.
It does.
But I'm trying to remember the third one.
Okay, so we
I think we
watched
should
this-
reveal because there's a lot more Zac Efron movies than you'd think.
Yeah,
Oh, I know what it was.
you know what it was.
It
Okay.
was Beach Bum or
There you go. The Beach
yeah,
Bum.
Beach Bum.
The Beach Bum. You guys
Yeah.
see the Beach Bum?
Was that the movie with McConaughey?
Yep.
That was the kids. What's his name? Harmony Korine.
Yep.
And every scene is just twilight, like the sun is setting in literally every shot.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love
Who's
that
the
movie so
wrestler
much.
in that movie?
We've gone to see that in the theater.
So that was that was in our stoner movie season.
Yes.
This season we did Baywatch.
Yeah, we did Baywatch.
So that's The Rock. That was our movie from The Rock this season.
Oh, okay.
So like
That's
in Baywatch, Zac Efron is ripped.
Yeah.
Not like he is in this movie, but he's ripped.
No, this is bulk. Like he
this is
bulked
different.
up.
This is different.
You could
My
cut him
man
up
ate
for
a lot
some
of
meat.
eggs.
Yeah.
My man was waking up in the morning like Rocky and just drinking eggs.
Do you guys ever think about like your body being meat? Like just
Yes,
like
all the time.
just like, oh,
I
my
call my
muscles
body
hurt.
a meat sack all the time.
There's
just
a
like
Viagra
animals
Boys
eat that.
song called "Man of Meat" that I just have been listening to. Well, I've been listening to that whole album. on
Wait,
repeat.
hold on a second. Tim, you're a Viagra Boys fan?
Dude, I love Viagra Boys.
Shocker. Just big shock.
Is it really? Why?
No, of course not. It's not fucking shock.
Oh, okay.
The most cynical rock band operating in the world today. Oh yeah, Tim's a fan of that. It's like I know Steve Albini is dead.
I saw their first show.
No more shellac. You got to
in
listen to
America.
something. Two on the nose, Tim. Two on the nose. Just saying. I feel like what the listeners and the viewers have to understand is that we go back with these guys a long way.
Oh yeah.
Like,
These guys are the family.
First of all, like
You mean
Dunce was
us?
You were on. Yes, you. Dunce, you were on season.
I'm talking about
2.
Springsteen, the
Who
Springsteen
the fuck are
family.
you guys?
Viagra Boys?
Viagra,
Yeah.
we are actually the actual members of Viagra Boys. We just put the pretty ones out there to actually do the concerts. But like we had Dunce on in our second season to do Leprechaun 2.
Yeah.
And then we had that's like 5 years ago this month. Then we're recording this.
That was COVID.
It
Yeah.
was fucking
It
COVID.
was.
And then we had you on, Tim, I think like 3 years ago to do another film in a category that you hate. Even though it was, although technically it was a video game movie, so we know you like
was.
video games.
The friendlier
but it was
you are
Need
with
for
us,
Speed. Need for Speed.
the friendlier you are with us,
That
the
movie
worse
sucked.
we treat you.
It
I
kind
think
of
it's we like really need to go to a
Ask
podcast.
Prem
First of
Rock.
all, we need
Ask
to
Prem
start
Rock.
a podcast therapy business.
I'm
We're not
not-
giving therapy to the actual human. We're giving therapy to the podcast persona.
I'm not gonna lie though. If I had to choose about a rewatch, I would much rather rewatch Need for Speed than this movie.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like Need for Speed, they like drive around in fast cars and have a good time.
Actually, there's actually
this
more
one, they,
death.
like,
There's
fail.
more death in Need for
They
Speed.
fail and die.
Yes, there
all-
is. They
it's
murder
all-
so many people.
It's
So
all
many
vehicular
people.
homicide that doesn't get
The,
addressed.
the
but
body
so
count
many
is
people die
higher in
that
Need for
movie.
Speed for sure.
I mean,
Oh,
not
yeah.
by that much, but it is actually.
It's a
by-
lot. They're just like the deaths aren't very sad.
Yeah. It's
This
like
is
there's,
more emotional weight than it is the weight of lots of loss.
there's certainly more injuries in Need for Speed than there is
Yeah.
in this movie. Like here's just like it's fatal. Everything in this is fatal versus
I have honestly,
Speed.
I've forgotten every fucking detail of Need for Speed. There's
Well, what's-
like, if you gave me a quiz on it right
Aaron
now, I'd fail
Paul?
it. Who acted in it? Who wrote it? What happens?
Oh my
How many
God.
cars do they drive? Who
How could you
is the
forget?
bad guy? I don't remember any of it.
It was
The
like
one-
Cannonball Run for Gen Z.
It's gone.
The one thing I really remember about it is Kid Cudi like stealing like what is it, a helicopter,
helicopter.
and then going
Kid
like,
Cudi was
well,
in it.
it's off to jail for me. Like he's fucking like Tim Allen in that Simpsons bit.
Yeah.
Tim, let me ask you a
Mike.
question.
Hey, Mike.
What's
What do you
your-
remember most from Leprechaun 2?
I remember the hell out of Leprechaun 2.
Wait. I need to remember the location. Was this? That's not Vegas. That's 3.
That's 3.
3 is Vegas. We
2
were
was
in,
just kind of like an echo of 1 a little bit.
It's like LA, but it's in a tree.
It's LA, but it's not like you're not
Was
getting
there
like
a
the
book in
Hollywood
a
sign
stump?
LA. You're getting suburban LA.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember a lot, but I was like down for that whole like series hard because I was going insane. Like I bought a copy of Leprechaun 4 in space.
Because it's fucking awesome. 29 years old today.
29 years old as of this recording today. Leprechaun.
Oh, I
4
thought you
in
meant like
space.
today was the anniversary of that movie.
Today is the 29th
Today
anniversary
is the
of Leprechaun
29th
in
anniversary
space.
of.
Wait,
of
are you fucking
Leprechaun
kidding
Space.
me?
I
No,
swear
I'm
to
going to
God.
watch it after this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I own it.
I own it on YouTube.
It's got
I
the
own
greatest ending of all time. There's no movie that ends this way.
And then 5 is in the hood, right?
5 is in the hood. He goes
Correct.
to space before he goes to the hood, which is pretty fucking racist if you ask me.
Agreed. He'd rather, to be fair, he understands that conquering space is a lot easier than conquering the hood.
I feel like we've done this exact thing in another episode this season.
Guaranteed.
I think we've 100%. We can't
I
stop
want to
talking
ask
about
Tim a
Leprechaun
question
in
really
space.
quickly.
Go ask him a
Which
question.
death was your favorite?
In what sense?
I don't know, just like a general fave. Like that's the one. Like if someone was like, "I want to watch one death out of this movie," which one are you picking?
Like cinematically, you want to
Yeah,
win
which
the
one are you
best-
picking?
You know, oh God, like honestly, like
No.
God
Is that a
damn it.
sword?
It's fun.
No.
It's not a big deal. It's
No.
not a big deal. I'm just doing
No.
what they told me to do in the movie.
No, Jeff, stop. Tim, what was your favorite death scene in the film?
What was your favorite death? Since we're not allowed to rank them, at least we can talk
I
about
would
our
love to
fave.
rank 'em, honestly.
Pick favorites.
It's like I can't actually pick between like the scrawny one who like
Dies in Japan.
pills and boozes himself away after struggling to play the guitar. What's he doing? What's he doing there?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
All right.
But I also, again, like I did like the bear's suicide for the build up to it. That was just so like, come on, man.
I like
Shoot the gun, Dad! I gotta shoot the gun.
What's his problem? Let's all go eat dinner. Okay.
all right.
All right. I am pretty hungry.
Curse is over at that point. You know,
There was a
everybody's fine.
fourth wall break in this movie when what's his face? Zac Efron stares at the mail. And he's staring at the mail, and that's when he learns that his brother who went to Japan, and that's where he died.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a very beautiful bird's eye shot at the funeral procession. So that's my favorite death. For fourth wall break, funeral procession.
Plus, you got a whole scene of that guy sitting in front of a bloody toilet learning he's an uncle. Nobody was worried about the smell or the blood.
The prolonged scene.
It was so long, and they kept like
it's the longest
kind
in the
of
movie.
getting closer and like painting it closer and closer and closer. And each like bit closer you get, you notice how full the toilet is with the blood and the toilet
The
water.
blocking in that scene is amazing.
It's incredible.
It really is.
I thought he was going to be perfectly okay after that. I don't
After
know.
the bloody toilet.
So Tim
Jeff,
likes Tim's with the pills death. Is that the one you picked?
I think I'm going to go with Pill's death. Yeah.
Pill's
Yeah.
death.
And Mike is going with the
Intestinal
Japan
rot.
enteritis.
If you believe,
Which-
it depends on who you believe in that story.
Yeah.
But I think a number of the people that were on that Japan tour believe that he overdosed, and then people cleaned the room up so that no one would know. Like friends of his came in, found him, and was like, "Nope, we're not going to have everybody know that he overdosed."
Again, right? Just
Yeah,
how
like,
wrestling
and this
fans
is a
think,
legendary family. And
Yeah.
like, we're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
So then the nearest thing was like, oh, well, he was puking blood and having a tough time. So they just found whatever the other problem was and blamed that.
Yeah.
But it's wrestling. Who knows what is real?
So then, what's your favorite?
Gary, I want you to go first.
Oh no, no! I want to hear yours, Jeff. I would like to hear yours.
You want me to
since
go
you're
first?
Yeah, I'd
Okay,
love for you to go first.
I don't know that there's a moment. There's maybe only two other moments of being in a theater, knowing full well this is not the time for uproarious laughter. And I successfully stifled it for this movie, which was a feat. But when our friend, whose brain is different now, is like staring into the mirror. Because like now I'm in the comfort of my own home and I can just laugh all I want. When he's staring in the mirror, he's just like,
Jeff, what's
Like,
the line in
having him-
what's the line in Tropic Thunder?
no, I can't say it. I
Can't
can't
say
say it. I can't say that
Can't say
either.
it. You can't say it.
It's a tiny piano and a 12-inch penis. Oh, I can't tell that here.
Has anybody seen I Am Sam? It's the same thing.
And then they like go on a search party, but everyone is like right next to each other. Like they're dredging a lake, like when they're looking for his body.
Yeah.
But it's not a lake, it's a gigantic farm property. Like go in different directions, people. You're gonna find them a lot easier if you're not like holding hands walking through through the front yard.
That's
being
how
like,
you
"Where
do
are
it,
you,
right?
buddy?" It's just the worst search party of all time. That's I agree with Tim. It's my favorite, and it's just like you handed this man an assignment, and he delivered.
Mm.
Now
To kill
I
himself?
stifled my laughter because I was genuinely sad.
Mm-hmm.
He never should have touched a ring, real
No,
life
my God,
or in
no,
this movie.
not even a little bit.
They never should have put that human being in a wrestling ring, and that's the curse is how stupid they are about this business.
His death is definitely the saddest that I.
When he was
on
doing the
screen.
drop kicks and just kept falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Like I don't know how tight the money was,
Mhm.
but I feel like when Carrie loses a foot, like you could be like, well, there are schools for business, or
You could learn a
like
trade.
you could learn how to use this farm that I don't use because I'm so busy wrestling.
Hmm.
This gigantic farm that doesn't get used because
Was it an actual
because I
farm?
forced everyone into wrestling. We're building fences out here for no reason. But
True. Yeah.
were
What
like-
was the fences for?
I think they just needed activities for all the dudes to do.
Weren't
They're
they,
like, these dudes are very serious dudes. We can't have them like having fun.
Mm.
They
So
had
we're gonna
like
make this
bales
giant
of
fence
hay.
to keep
Huge
in the-
hay bales. Huge hay
Right?
bales. Yeah, it's crazy.
I was just like, I remember seeing that shit and being like, where the fuck is anything else?
Where are the
on this
horses?
farm? Like, where are horses?
There's no
I
animals
think they
on this
mention
farm,
animals at some point,
but you never see
like,
one.
There's not one animal in this movie.
No.
No. Well,
Man.
man is the animal. Yeah, man's the animal.
That's the other title. Man is the animal.
Man is the animal.
We do have to touch before we kick you guys out.
Wait,
we
you,
have to
you
touch
don't,
on
wait,
you,
no,
you don't want
I
to know
had-
mine? What?
Yeah,
He's
I
got-
do.
boat scene. Oh yeah,
Okay,
go ahead. I'm
question.
sorry, Gary.
He's got points to make. Would you like to know mine, or you want to just jump
Yeah,
ahead
I
to
would
your
love
next
to.
thought? Okay, so like of all the representations,
It's the
of
kid,
death-
isn't it?
Of all the representation of Jesus, of all the representation.
I thought the
Of
kid was
death.
the best ghost.
Okay, but this time I'm
God.
doing it for real. I'm sorry. That was a terrible
you actually should now. Yes,
I really should
now,
just go ahead.
Now you go do it. You think
I'm gonna
about what you
try.
did.
I gotta join my brothers. I'm gonna go see my brothers.
Virgin suicides for boys. Jesus. My favorite representation of death in this film is that afterlife scene. Is the scene on the boat where he goes up to the tower.
Yes.
It is because for two reasons. It's
So you're
one,
picking Carrie.
I'm picking that scene, and that's
Yeah.
that's my dodge.
That's
for your,
Carrie's
for your
death.
fucking
So it makes
horrible
sense.
question. So yeah,
sure.
Carrie's death is that happens there, and then for me,
It's an incredible scene.
there's two things that I love about it. One is like I should mention we watch these movies twice usually for these episodes. I watch them twice, and I usually try to do one high and one not high. Well, I did high for both times because I wasn't
Thank
going to
God.
go back. I wasn't going to go back to that movie sober after having seen it high.
No.
So I took the edible at the right time.
Hmm.
So when that scene hits and suddenly he's on the river, I'm like, oh, I'm watching a different movie now. This is really interesting.
Yeah.
And then to see that reunion is a moment of genuine happiness. It is sad, but it is also a time of genuine happiness in this film that is just beating you over the head with
Because they're
sadness.
free of their father's constant gaze.
And they can be
and constant
themselves.
judgment.
They can be themselves in this afterlife. You know, they can
Yeah,
just
dudes
be
like
brothers.
dude-
It's
dudes hanging out with a guitar. The other
Yeah.
guy's the champ.
you know,
Like
thought
the
there
kid
was-
doesn't grow up.
the 4-year-old older brother is still
Yeah.
the innocence of a 4-year-old. Like
There
it's
was some
kind of
interesting
When he says
stuff
you
in
must be
here.
my older brother, I mean, if you
yeah,
don't
right.
feel emotions,
You don't. I mean,
who are
come
you?
on. I mean, you got to be
Come on.
Tim if you're not.
Tim didn't
on.
feel him. Look at that face. He didn't
Look at
feel it.
Yeah,
I thought it was
nothing.
corn.
Just thought
I
it was
thought
corn.
so.
I loved
Yeah,
it.
well, put some butter and a little cheese. Let's have a lotte, baby.
Elote. Absolutely. The little Tex-Mex time. I really feel like that was the scene for me that keeps this film from being just a complete and utter, nightmare. Is that you have this, like, there's a sense of hope that after this life, there's something else. And it makes you want to believe that in that moment. Because then the next scene is watching, Zac Efron's character staring at his two boys playing football in a field and
Yeah.
just bawling, crying. and like his kids
What a
notice and
scene.
express empathy to him. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
oh my God, there's humanity somewhere in all this. It's not just like I'm going to make these kids wrestle because they need to wrestle. And yes, some people in that family did end up wrestling, you know,
Well,
future
that's how the
generations.
curse ends, right? Is that you don't fucking wrestle anymore. Everyone
Stop it.
is dying. Stop wrestling. That's the common denominator.
A little
Every
empathy.
single one of these things is because of wrestling. Why are we doing this still? Like, I took a lot of L's in this life, and at some point I was like, I'm not gonna do what I'm doing anymore. I'm gonna change my fucking behavior. And everything's been at least marginally better since
Yeah.
then.
Well, I mean, not from your behavior today. I'm a little worried. We have to talk after
Oh,
this.
listen. You know how impressionable I am. This really happened. I saw it 3 times, Gary.
You did see it 3 times. You did.
Like, no one should
did.
watch this movie 3. Even if you like it, don't watch
Yeah.
it again. You fool. You
Yeah,
fool.
no. It's like, it's again, there's certain films like I don't want to watch sad things any more than I want to watch scary things. I want to watch funny, stupid movies all the time, and that's all I want to watch. And that's really all I ask
I
for
love.
in life is that.
I actually made fun of you for this because at some point I texted you during the film and I was like, "Oh, that you were complaining about the movie or something." I was like, "Oh, you got to use your brain for once in the entire podcast,
Yeah,
once in
fine.
98 episodes, and this is what
Fine.
we get."
Fine. I mean, it's a fair criticism at this point because usually it's just like,
We really do
oh
watch a lot of
shit,
crap.
oh shit, we're watching Rollerball with LL Cool J.
Yeah, the
great.
remake
And Chris Pine, like
of
fucking
a movie nobody watched the
Let's
first time.
fucking go. That's I'm here for that, and I think that next time we should pick a movie that suits our guests. I mean, there's no comfortable suffering in
let's
this
not
movie.
do that.
There's no
Let's not go crazy here. Who's really trying to commit suicide? Huh? Is it me or is it you with that crazy idea?
I'm just saying.
Treating our guests with respect isn't
No.
the thing. This whole thing hinges on the disrespect. Hi, Gary.
I
Hi, Gary.
I don't want to do this anymore.
No, come on, don't.
I
The movie's dragging you down, man. I
no,
don't
I
know.
can't, man. Like we went to some dark fucking places today.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. We had a good time with
I don't-
admittedly horrific. It
I don't
was,
feel- Dude, I don't feel good
what
about
we did was
myself.
wrong. What we
Yes,
did was wrong.
this
It was
was
wrong. We
wrong.
have to understand that what we did was wrong.
We shouldn't air this episode. We shouldn't do this show anymore.
Well, let's not go crazy. I thought
Like, no, I don't think we're going to make it. This is episode 98. We're not going to make it to episode 100. It's not going to happen.
you think it was that grave?
I mean, who
There were a
listens
lot of
after
graves.
that? Who listens after this? Like, who wants to listen to this?
Yeah, no, I feel pretty bad about this
Oh
whole
my
thing.
God, we can't. We can't keep. I mean,
Well-
I feel like I say it all the time. We can't keep doing this. Like, we can't keep doing this shit.
Okay, all right. Admittedly, we've hit maybe a new low, but I think if we focus on the positives, we got to see a bunch of dudes die.
Just see again. Like, what's the positives? Like, no.
This is the darkest it's ever going to be, and might I add, the darkness precedes the dawn. There are no movies this dark. There are no movies this fucked up to give any more people. From here, it's up, right? I mean, there's no other wrestling movies that are this dark.
Foxcatcher.
Okay, all right. There's one other wrestling movie that's this dark. We'll just skip that one.
The Smashing Machine.
It's a pretty sad one. That is pretty sad. And it's not very good. Okay. A couple of movies. The Wrestler. Fuck. Okay.
The
All right. There's a
Wrestler.
lot of sad. There's a
Yeah.
lot of sad movies.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a sad
man.
business. We picked a sad season. We may as well just call this sad season.
We might as well. I'm realizing, like, God, it's just either watching the worst movies of all time
Or they
or
live.
like the saddest movies of all time with the occasional bouts of joy and spots. Ninja Turtles.
Wrestling movie
and
world
then-
slips right off the slope pretty hard.
Like, where's the fucking joy? Where is the like delight? Where is the reason to keep doing this fucking season? This fucking podcast.
We can do
what-
this. I think we can. Pendulums swing two ways, big dog.
Well, okay.
Do you know how pendulums work?
Yes, and I feel like I've said this before on the show, especially in
You
these
just got to get
end
creative.
segments. We have to think of something that's like the polar opposite of this movie. Like it can't be in
That's
any
the
way,
spirit.
any
Listen,
way dark.
when you've been thrown out of the ring on that cold hard concrete and the crowd's chanting your name, you gotta get up, you gotta drag yourself back into that ring on the count of 9 before you get counted out, and you gotta throw a thunderous blow to your opponent. We need the best course correction Cabbages has ever fucking seen. That's what we need.
The polar opposite of this movie. We need it. Does it exist?
Tom Hanks in any movies with wrestlers?
I hope not.
It's the Cabbages Podcast Network.